It is that time again. Time to start dreaming reality. Does a body good? Does a mind good? Sorry about this. Just taking care of something real quick. It's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So, how about I finish up here a couple more seconds just to, with the sound, convey where my mind is at. You hear that? You hear those sirens? I do. So, the question, 1 + 1 equals... What's that? 3? Really? My heart's crossed. Yeah. So, my name is Joseph. You want to know more? That's my Facebook page. Yeah. I may talk about UFOs. I should mention that. I may not. That's some of my artwork, by the way. So today, it is September 18th, 2020. Just after 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Smoky, California. As always, I'm still asking same thing I asked yesterday and the day before. What is real and what is lies? Who is responsible for the virus? That COVID-19. You know the one. Was it created? And if so, was it accidentally or intentionally released? I think it's a very good question, valid question to ask. as always, I hope you have woken up, you're standing up, and speaking up. Can't say that enough. While you can, and I know that sounds crazy because one grows up believing they will always be able to speak up about anything. You can talk about anything you want to. I mean, you're not hurting anybody. You know, you're not physically attacking somebody. Now, this whole character attack, I guess, is a way of looking at it. You know, facts are facts. Facts are facts. You know, if I want to talk about George Soros, I should be allowed to. I should be able to post that thought, verbalized thought, and project it out there for anybody that wants to hear. It's always a choice. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. But I should have that right. It should be inalienable. God-given. A no-brainer. Still, I'm going to get those rocket scientists. Put them in the background. Have them clap. George Soros. Who's George Soros? Well, I don't know too much about the man. I heard enough, I guess, that told me what's to research, what's to know more about such an individual, such a mind. And the facts are the facts, and the truth is the truth. How come in this day and age the truth is being allowed, because it is, to be swept under the carpet, under the rug, put in the trash, in the landfill? This man's, in my opinion, and I have my opinion, it's God-given. And I base that opinion on what has come out of his mouth. It's recorded. Can't deny it. His mouth. Talking with 60 Minutes. It's been years. I can't remember when I first heard that. $60 interviewing the man, asking him questions. Man is a very wealthy man, and he started at the tender age of 14. During World War II, under the guidance of the Nazis, he being Jewish. You can't take that. It's out there. Unless there's some magic machine that can change history. That is history. He saw an opportunity. He wanted to live, just like each and every one of us. He wanted to live. He wanted to survive the war, World War II. This is fact. There's no need to go into the details. Look them up. If you can't take the time, a moment in a day, just look up for yourself before it's gone. Because as I said, the truth is being swept under the rug. It's not allowed anymore. You're censored. You're told to shut up. Really? That's the truth. George Soros. He sold his soul. Plain and simple. He sold his soul. And he got wealthy. Very, very wealthy. One of the wealthiest. This is truth. And right now he's using this wealth to influence the direction this country will follow. Now, I don't know about you. I've talked about money in the past. Of late, everybody wants it. You need it. You need it to live, not to live, to survive. We've all heard money is the root of evil. Well, why is it that you know that? You've heard that. Long time ago. You heard that. Why has it carried on for so long? Hasn't gone away. It's not like you say that and most people question that. Well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? We know. We just don't say anything about it. For the most part, we've been behaving very well. Money dictates every action on this world. It determines the flow Am I wrong? Am I delusional? And I need to wake up because I'm in some nightmare that doesn't exist. Money. Everything that happens is money. In the world, as far as civilization goes. There's a world outside of man that's going on at the same time. Nature, money dictates every action. It does. I think in this day and age, again, I hear the rocket scientists clapping, because you don't need them, to have a base understanding of how things should work. Doesn't need to be complex. There's just some things that need to be addressed. Not overlooked, not swept under the carpet, not denied, censored. Censorship. It's nothing new with censorship. It's been going on from the beginning. It's become an art these days. It's right there in your face. It's normal. Am I wrong? No. Money, money, money. I don't have much money. Don't need a lot of money. Just to live a day, another day. Doesn't take much to make it through a day. Really doesn't. Georgie boy. Well, he's 90 years old, so he's no boy. Maybe he still is. He's still stuck at age 14. I ask you all, how can such a mind experience such a moment in time? World War II, Hitler, the Nazis, just rampaging through the lands. And the way they dealt with opposition to their ideology was goodbye. Any conscious being, mind, I mean, I understand why he did what he did. He wanted to survive. He wanted to make it through, to live at a price. At a price. How? See, here's the part where you see that, and you don't need to research the man anymore, really. You see this interview, hear this interview, 60 Minutes, and how does a 14-year-old, because I was 14 once, we all were, or will be, how does such a mind just turn off the emotion, the yeah, I mean, I get it. At that time, you know, you do shit. You never anticipated. You never planned for. It's happening. And you're in it, right there in the middle, a big old heaping pile of steaming shit. What do you do to get out of it? You do what you do. But with time, one wants to believe that wisdom comes with that time. And with that wisdom, there assuredly must be compassion for all, forgiveness for all. You don't have to forget. You need to remember on such a level that it doesn't hold you down, prevent you from moving onward. That's a problem with humans, but they've been guided quite well to be in such a state of frenzy. I think we're in a state of frenzy right now. Just don't really know what to do. I mean, it's like you got the truth right there in your face. And you're choked up. You can't get it out. Black Lives Movement. Are you a member? See, anybody that would say yes, my next question to that person would be, so what's your agenda? And I'd wager to guess that the majority probably don't even know. They just saw this movement building and growing and decided to become a part of it, with learning by being out there with the others, who most of them probably have no idea. I'm just saying. It's weird how some people spend their money. I thought about this around a couple weeks ago in a stream. The money, and having one slice of all the wealth in the world, and it's divided up into 6 slices, and how one of those slices represents all the money that you and I, the common person, I don't care if you have $1 million, even $1 billion, represents that one slice of pie. And what it would be like to have one of those other slices, just one of the 5 remaining slices of that pie, which is a lot of money. I mean, if you can imagine that one slice represents, pretty much the world's wealth, with those 5 slices still left over, which represent the hands of a very, very few. That's the kind of money we're talking about, the wealth distribution that's happening right now at this moment. What would it be like? What would you do? What would you do if you had a whole slice? I don't know how much George Soros has, but he has a pretty good chunk of the pie. And he does distribute it out. That can all be tracked and traced, and it's out there. My questions are, who is this money being distributed out to? How does he spend his money, give his money? Philanthropy. Well, if you do tracking and tracing and following, and people are waking up. They see what's happening. It's right now we're in that moment of trying to calculate out that next move. What do you do next? Well, once you you realize, okay, this is what's happening, and it is bizarre. It's one of the most outrageous things you could think of. Imagine. Why? How? I think that should give it more validity. That this is all for real. It's all taking place right now, because it's like the last thing you would ever think. But it's not that it could never be. It's just that you want it to be the last thing that could be. So you don't even suspect it coming. I mean, this is, again, I mentioned this last night. These people did not just get together last week or last month, last year even, 10 years ago. This has been an ongoing movement in the shadows, for all the logical reasons. If this is what's going on, it's not something you necessarily would do out in the light for all to see, all to know. It goes against the plan. That's just logical sense. And it is a complicated plan. You people, you need to really just meditate. And if you don't know how to meditate, or you don't feel comfortable just relaxing your mind and putting it into another state, you should learn. But put your mind into the mindset of these people, these few people with all the wealth. They have all they don't have to do a thing. If they wanted to be groomed, fed, whatever it is, if they did not want to do it themselves, they can always have somebody else, someone else provide whatever it is they want. They have all the time in the world. If they want to work, they choose to work. Spend time generating wealth. I mean, you get to a point where you don't really, it's a machine. It's automated. It just keeps going and going. You don't even do anything. That's where these people are. They don't exist within the framework of what the majority would call daily life. In the city, in the countryside, wherever. But a life within a community. None of that. These people are not in, they have no connections to that other than they're aware of what's going on out there. Us. And they don't like it. They just don't like it. They don't like, I mean, you can remove the elite, the global, whatever you want to call these mindsets. You could remove that from the equation. If you could put everything into an equation here on Earth, You remove that, and I'm still left with there's a pile of shit still there. Hours. The money thing is it's complicated. It's, like I said, everything relies on money. Everything. That's why I asked that question, if you had one slice, what would you do with that pie? Slice of money, worth, wealth. Would you be able to change anything? Say you wanted to make the world better. Could you? I don't think so, because I think this is something that requires all the worth of the world to be participating as a single moving unit. The wealthy don't see it that way. Clearly, they have this machine in place. They've spent a lot of time putting it in place. It took a lot of time to get to where they are. And they don't want to relinquish it at all. Let me shift gears some here, and let's talk about the virus, the plan. Again, these are all based on truths that are being denied. They're being censored. Again, that doesn't change what is truth. But it's happening. This is a virus that was created. It was. We know that. Governments around the world know that. It was created. It was a created virus that is evolving by design, with intent. Now, did it get out accidentally? Was it intentionally released? I don't think that matters, really. I mean, that's like saying it's not as bad if it were accidentally released. My mindset is kind of farther back, a step behind that step, thinking, why is it even in a lab in the first place? I mean, what the hell? Why is it there? It's there to do what this one is doing right now. Accidentally released. Doesn't matter. Just the very idea that it's out there now. It's trackable. It's traceable. This is all, it's information. It's truth that is out there. In a court of law, under God and oath, this would be judged truth. This is what's been taking place. This is what's happening. You got a created virus that just months before it actually is in reality being projected onto your TVs and radios and however you're communicating. Just months before that, there's a run through, like a test run through presentation, a real time, you could watch it. These people, scientists, doctors, politicians, this group of people playing out a drama of a virus getting out there. The mask, how the public is going to react to the mask, everything that we have been watching without having seen this presentation back in October 2019. They're again, the rocket scientists are clapping because you don't need them to figure this one out. So plain to see. They're scared, that's why they're censoring. They're all they're all in too deep over their heads with this insane plan. Again, I mentioned this last night, that these people have been preparing mentally and physically, whatever it takes to get them to where they are currently, involved in a plan to create a new world. Create a new world without you, the society, the public at large. You're not needed. Look where we're at right now. Look at the world, the state it is in. Is it good? That's their justification. What they think in their minds. I'm telling you, they have all the time in the world to just sit there and reflect on, this is, God, I love the earth, I love life, but it's a shitty world right now. It really is. All the evil nastiness that people do to one another, lack of forgiveness, focus on mistrust. I don't know whether I've been disconnected a time or two while I've been streaming or not. And just keep going until I feel like I've said enough for today. I'm not done. This whole scene that's playing out right now, this virus is created. You can't argue that against that, and a court of common sense under God, under something that represents complete and whole truth. And all parties involved are allowed to express under that same tone, not manipulated, controlled. Money does wicked things. People do wicked things. They do, for the money. A lot of the time, money. And you can, I mean, a lot of people say it's like a relationship thing with people, and but even then, it's money. The majority of the time, some way, somehow, money is connected to it. Ultimately, life insurance, whatever. Money, money, money. That's what this virus is about. Money is power and control. I mean, they want to cull the herd. There's too many of us. That's what these people believe. That's what a lot of minds are saying. There's too many people doing too much shit. I mean, come on, I'm taking shit. Now you got people, videos of people taking shits, and you got people delivering shits. This is happening. I just saw that one, the delivery one, earlier today before I started streaming. Trump, people that don't like the man or protesting, I guess, is how they would ultimately, that would be their ultimate alibi. They are putting shit in the people that have Trump signs out or whatever, or displaying any connection to the thought that they feel Trump should be the next president or continue on as president. Well, you gotta be kidding me. But I'm not. It's happening. It's disgusting. It's wrong. First of all, I think that's, you can just, that you get to that, that should be the first thing in your mind. That's just wrong. And you don't even need to spend too much more time on it, other than it needs to stop. But that should be your next thought. This has got to stop. Any people doing that, caught behaving this way, they need to be punished. And given that the current state of affairs, they need to be punished with a little bit of extra. Because considering the times we are in, and any rational thinking mind knows that that's like the last thing you need to be doing, yet you did it. To add to all the rest of the chaos. Make your mark, leave your mark. Yeah, extra. You should get a little bit of extra punishment, time-wise, whatever. Maybe you should have to wear a pin or something that signifies to any and all who cross your path that, you know, you're one of the shitters. Because I have no respect for you. Sorry. You know, unless you've got some problems, you know, stomach cramps, whatever, you know, that kind of thing, and you couldn't get to a bathroom, that's something completely different. But taking dumps on somebody's property, delivering dumps to people you don't care for, you don't even know that person. The only thing you know about that person is they prefer to have Trump continue on as the president. That's all you know, and based on that, you want to shit on them. Really. You can't get around that. You just can't. People don't. I think people, as much as people like looking in the mirror, they don't. They learned how to subliminally block themselves out. Because, I mean, I look in the mirror and I see me and I know who I am, and I know that I couldn't go taking shits on somebody's property for any reason. Couldn't deliver it. It's like, WTF? What's wrong with you? And the scary part is, it's like we are approaching a moment where you're not even going to be allowed to wonder even that. You're not going to be allowed to question why somebody would choose to deliver crap, especially if it's somebody you agree with. You agree with them. Delivering a steamy pile of shit. Stinky. Right? I mean, that's what they're saying. Already, it's just amazing the censorship that's taking place. Let me get back on track with this whole virus, which is planned. Clearly it's planned, because it's been created. I mean, if you can't think even just a little beyond that, you don't even got to go that far. You just can't begin the process of stepping outside the box on this one. I'm praying for you. That's all I can do. I'm outside the box. I think if anybody fairly watches my thoughts of late, that's pretty clear. I'm thinking outside the box. My thoughts. If this virus is created, okay, it was created, why? War. If it was created, it was done so with a design, intent. Now it's out there, and I hold steadfast to this is all part of the drama that began back in October of last year, almost a year ago now. This is an extension of that. It's clearly an extension. There's just too much coincidence. So this is an extension of this program that is currently running. You know, you put this idea, this mindset out there. If you happen to catch it, I didn't catch it when they did that. Not till January, late January, February, sometime there, I became aware of that whatever you want to call it. The plan, part of this plan. That was like the mark of the beginning. You know, go. The flag went down, and it was, what was it? It was a dramatization of a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. And what do you do? And that's what they're talking about. What do you do? What they are going to do. And what could happen, what might happen, what they would like to happen. Months later, it happens. That ain't no accident. It's all designed. It's an agenda. It's a part of this program that's ongoing. It's testing the waters, seeing how the public is going to react, what's going to happen if something like this happens. Why do that? Because I'm telling you, I feel this virus could have been just as easily something truly deadly. And we still don't know what this current virus holds. Because it's changing. Because it's designed to do that. They don't even know yet, because it hasn't changed yet. I don't think it matters whether it was accidentally or intentionally released. It got out. And the people that it got out from should be responsible. Period. They had it. It got out from them. They were doing these things. They were creating this virus, which we are currently experiencing. Guinea pigs, really. Testing, seeing what's going to happen. So that next time you have a counter move. More thought out. Well planned. That's why you do a test, a run through. You do this presentation just to get it out there into the conscious stream, the public, this dramatization of a pandemic involving the world, and then months later it's real, in your face. And we have been witnessing what happens. People chose to use it to destroy. I think that's just the simplest way to express it. Destroy, because there was nothing built. Nothing grew out of what has been taking place. I heard earlier that it's kind of been calming down some, and that's because the Democrats are realizing that it ain't working. It ain't working. The voters are not taking it like they used to. I mean, how could they not? You see people like Nancy Pelosi, senator. She's getting up there in her years too. I think you get to a certain age and leadership, like government, there should be like a cap. And nothing personal, just that, enjoy life, what life you have. Because clearly you don't have a lot of it left. Most of it has been spent. So why not do that? Change the world? That's what you think you're doing? Because I'm not seeing that. Wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. Then you don't wear a mask. Walking around without one. And then you were set up. Yeah, baby. I was set up. Come over here. Let me lean my head on your shoulder. Because I was set up. I could go on and on and on. I already feel like I'm on this watch list of sorts, I guess. Just because it's all automatic. I mean, people don't have to listen to you anymore. A system listens to you, an AI system. And it has all the time in the world. And it does things a lot faster than your mind does. So you get up, talk for an hour, the system doesn't have to listen to what you said for an hour to know what you said. It processes it fairly quickly. Puts it into the database and then starts running it through the algorithms. I should shift gears here. I think that's what I need to do. How long have I even been on? Usually I see counter. Oh, there it is, almost an hour. Okay, I'm going to shift gears then. Spend a few minutes before I move on. Music. I'm going to put up the daily three. I like to refer to them as the daily three. Music. You're going to continue to say that there is an intelligence here. It's here right now. It's alive, whatever that means, because it's timeless. It doesn't exist within the framework of time. It's beyond time. That's a human thing. If you want to try to understand the difference between you and this intelligence. I refer to it as God. More direct, Father. I'm very comfortable with Father. I'm at home. I'm at home. That's how comfortable I feel. Now, as far as is this just a single intelligence, or is it a multitude of intelligence? I lean towards it's a collection of individual minds at some point in time, just like we are now. I have to be very careful because I don't want to feel like I'm putting words in the mouth of this intelligence. For the record, I am listening and have been listening to this. I'll let it play for a few seconds and I'll be silent, so if there's an issue, it could always be wiped, deleted. So yeah, this is what I've been listening to. Always. One plus two.
But we add up to
More, me and you. Okay, I should. So I've been listening to There Must Be Something More from the Charlotte's Web soundtrack. I believe 1973. I watched that film in the theater when it came out, when it was released. That was a good movie at such a young age. I must have been like 6 years old. To leave your mind, a mind, with the thought that there must be something more. So 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 equals 3. I should get to mention that too before I finish with the music. 1 and 1 equals 2. It clearly does on that level. In schools, though, I don't even want to get into what teaching is these days. I don't know what that system is they use. I've tried to forget it because it's just nuts. And I know teachers, and even they are, they're like, well, WTF. Now, like this song, there must be something more. I used to think that 1 and 1 was 2. But now I'm thinking it must be more. You and me must be something more. That's been my song for the day, by the way. There must be something more. So the music, I gotta finish. I'm getting too distracted here in my mind. And this intelligence, and what I feel when I feel a connection. I feel a connection with all of them. All what this as a whole, as they exude, they breathe out, give out a sense of being, and I breathe it in. There's no fight, there's no battle with any one thing. I will say that this intelligence, from my perspective, has been with me in some way my entire life. I feel that this intelligence, this presence, has been doing the same thing with everybody, has been reaching out, attempting to make contact. The music. The music is so clear and direct. It's personal and private. If you choose. That's your choice. It's not for everybody. I think that there's a reason why it's happening. I don't doubt that it's happening, because I see it. I have it happen with me. I experience it. It's not, I don't doubt it. I have taught myself to not be so absorbed in just playing music all day long and keeping a conversation going on that level. I don't spend that kind of time. I like the daily 3. Works for me. Again, I say, as I always do when I try to express what this is, that this conversation that's happening, unfolding, is happening on every level imaginable. This presence is connected to everything. Everything. I think that's where the sense of God comes into play. If the air you breathe were alive, this intelligence, this presence would be that air. It's everything it has a connection to. Now I guess I should talk a little about the UFOs, because I even put the picture up there earlier. I'm very aware of the UFO community, aliens, ETs. I'm very aware of it. I don't keep current with it. I never spent a lot of time with it. I spent a lot of time with my thoughts on the whole subject, but not actually like reading lots and lots of books. But I have read a fair number of books on the phenomena from many different perspectives, and I don't spend my time thinking about Zeta Reticulans. I don't spend my time thinking about reptilians, Pleiadians, insectoids, tall and small, all of them, all that. I don't think that I don't connect this presence that I feel is reaching out and attempting to communicate, to form a relationship without expectation. I mean, right now it's happening the way it is. That doesn't mean that tomorrow or next week that the communication may take on a whole new form, manifestation. This intelligence is beyond the universe. If you want to try to put a scope on it, it's beyond the universe. So it's not grays. It's, where they come from, the Pleiades. So do the Pleiadians, but they're more human. looking. It's beyond all that. And I put that out there in a stream. So I used to have a different video YouTube channel, and I had quite a few videos. I still have them if I ever chose to put them up. But in one of them, back in 2018, it was either 2018, late 2017, when I first started seeing how it would go getting in front of a camera and talking. I talked about aliens, ET, and how for most of my life I had viewed the whole subject from the point of this has to be happening. Something's happening. I didn't question, little grays or any of that, and I saw it as that could be happening, and it may be happening. Whatever I'm feeling, I feel has no connections to any of that, other in that all things are connected. So they have that connection, but I don't see, so let's just say there are Greys and Pleiadians and all these different aliens, I don't see them in a relationship with this intelligence. They may be aware of it, just like we are becoming aware of it. And again, it's free will. You make the choice. And this Greys and all that good stuff have made the choice they have, and I don't see them on that same page as this intelligence. I don't see this intelligence as the devil, Satan, Lucifer, any of that, except for in the sense that intelligence doesn't have a dividing line. It doesn't say, okay, only good can be and bad cannot be. Intelligence is a collection of everything. And what you make out of that and your next step is what counts. Good and bad are two sides of one coin. One coin. Can't get rid of them. They're always going to be there. Now, what you can do is you can move on. Choose to step outside that box where all that good and bad are, and they always will be, because you can't have one without the other. It's like that coin. Step outside that box and take a gander and begin to imagine what that state of being must be like beyond good and bad. That's a hard one, because people, that's like saying, well, there's no God or the devil then, because you got to move beyond both of them. And I think that in a way that's true, and I understand why someone would raise their hand and ask about that, because you got to let go, you got to grow up. It doesn't mean you have to forget. Doesn't mean you have to let go instead of carrying that thought with you, that memory with you in everything you are and in everything you do and choose to be. still listening to there must be something more. It's hard, because it's very, I'm thinking, I could easily just, I almost didn't get up here today just because a few times I'm thinking about things in life and music that's playing, and I get teary-eyed. It's hard because I know that this is just so crazy, the things that I'm talking about. I'm grateful in a way for the craziness that's happening right now, because I feel like it it released a wall that was preventing me from feeling like I couldn't go beyond that wall because of the crazy factor. Because it's crazy right now. And did you hear? No, what? There is so much craziness happening right now in the world. I should get back and finish the music thing. I'm getting into the ET and then this intelligence. And I mean, it'd be easy for me to refer to this intelligence as ET, that I would connect with a certain crowd of people, and be able to express the relationship that I'm developing on that level. But again, I do not. This whole, I think that the Greys, the reptilians, insectoids, Pleiadians, it's all confusion, I think. It distracts one from taking a longer search into what's going on. I've already expressed that I don't see mass landings. There's no reason in a mass landing, ever. There's no reason. I said this last night, that it's like, I think people see such a happening. It's like a magic wand. They're going to land, and like they're going to wave a wand, and everything's going to get better. And because clearly they have technology that's far beyond us. I could get into a discussion on that, but that, for just a simple overview, that's how people would look at that scenario, a landing, a magic wand. Why? Even if you could wave a wand, so to speak, why would you go to another world, a world that is in the state of affairs such as this one is, and just say, here you go? Alakazam. And everything's going to be better. And what do you expect this intelligence to come here, land, and teach you to make things better? I mean, even technology, they could show you technologies, if you want to think of this in a physical plane. Technologies. They're going to share technology. All these. We already have a problem with technology as it is. It's putting people out of work, creating homeless populations because of technology, making life easier and better. So how is it that this intelligence is going to bring upon landing, all these things that people see them bringing to enlighten us and make life better. No, they're not. They know better than that. We got to figure out some things on our own. You would think we know by now. We've been here how many thousands of years? You'd think we would be a lot closer than we seem to be. We got to do it on our own. We have to show whatever this is, I'm ready. Now, give me the test. Let me take the test. I'm ready. There's not too many people on that page. They're just not. I understand. I mean, look at the world. Chaos. It's absolute chaos. Yeah. Let's finish with the music. I think I've already said. I'd like to talk a little bit about it, a little bit more and more and more. The intelligence. I'm about to play the 3 songs, or show the 3 songs that played for me about an hour before I started to stream. I went and pulled up Pandora, and before I went and did this, as I always do, I spend a moment in my mind thinking, okay, here I am. Are you there, Father? In my mind, this is how I do this. Are you there? I'm here. And then I think of whatever it is that I'm directing towards this intelligence. As far as if I were having a conversation, I'm going to say something to you. And then you're going to say something back, and the coming back comes back with the music. So my mind was thinking, you know what? Today, how about the 3 songs that play? Have them come from God. Do you have anything to say today? Today, I am here, and in my mind, I'm playing out flashback of what I am doing, streaming and putting up 3 songs, and that's what I've been doing. You want to say anything to the people? I offer my time to relay the message. So then I press play. I didn't so much look for the first song to be because I like to look at the first song as something in it that tells me, that acknowledges that this intelligence is with me. Okay, I see you, I hear you, I know you. It just makes it easier for me if I get that, because then you're not thinking of, well, am I going to see it in the next one or the 3rd song? Those songs can be devoted more to whatever it is my thoughts were as far as to this interacting conversation. I didn't look for that so much today. I kind of put it out there in my thoughts that all 3 songs just from number 1 to number 3, you have all that time, all that space that you can fill with whatever it is you'd like to share, if you feel a need to share. So let me pull that up. There we go. So we have Walking in LA from Missing Persons. Now, Walking in LA, Los Angeles. Angels. I could spend time giving my impressions of what that means. Is that God saying something to you? Did you resonate? Jurassic Park gave like the beginning of Jurassic Park played after that. Then you had Ghost Riders in the Sky, Johnny Cash. So these are the 3 songs that played, and if I am to continue to follow the path that I am on, those 3 songs represent a message coming from this intelligence, directed to any and everybody. If they should come into this with the context of what I'm bringing to it. You can take it or leave it. This is big. This is huge. Missing in LA. Or no, is it Walking in LA? And there's nobody walking in LA. If you listen to the song, nobody walks in LA. We're all under lockdown, especially here in California. Yeah, I don't know. Ghost Riders in the Sky. Man, I could do it right now. I could go get my phone. But I don't treat it as a game. This is all so it's beyond real. It has nothing to do with what is real and not real. Again, this intelligence is on a whole other plane. The other night, was it last night, or it might have been a couple weeks ago. But this intelligence, because I'm trying to convey to people that, because we're very aware that we're being watched. We are. We're all being watched. You have these systems that I just spoke about that are filtering the conversations that are taking place and taking the data and putting it into algorithms. So we're all being watched. Swallow some water. Go ahead and turn this pictures off. Again, I could talk about that all day, but I'm trying to figure out, in my mind, sense. Making sense out of not just what's happening with this music and the intelligence, my beliefs, but with everything that's going on in the world right now. Everything that was going on in the world a year ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years. I'm thinking about it all. Our whole history. Even back to those dinosaurs. What was going on back then. All of it. leading up to right now. And I'm trying to project into the future, I guess. See the future, but I can't. And I think a big part of that is because I'm being told you can't. You can't say what you think, what you feel, what you might be unless you can substantiate it, unless a scientist or whoever with the authority to give you the stamp of approval says so. You can't have free discussions, free thoughts, shared and expressed and talked about. That's how you learn. It has nothing to do with being right or wrong. The conversation in the end is, like I've said earlier, the intelligence is, you can't filter intelligence and say base intelligence only on a certain set of parameters like good and remove anything bad. That's not intelligent. Intelligence is a combination of the two. People need to wake up. I'm going to get going here because I'm starting to get overly anxious, upset. I get, because I could easily get up here and just, like I said last night, start dropping F-bombs, but then they use that against you because you're not supposed to be upset about any of this. You can't. I mean, it's okay to go out and burn buildings down, shoot police, shoot people. All that stuff's good if it's done under a certain pretense, which makes no sense. I'll be back. I'm gonna keep doing these, and little by little, all this chaos will come into a clearer focus. I do want to thank everybody that comes by. I don't mention that, I think, enough. Thank you. If you should happen to find yourself here dreaming reality. I know it sounds like I'm a very pessimistic person talking about some of the things I talk about. I'm a realist, but I am an optimist at heart. I am a dreamer, and I'll never stop dreaming. I myself, if I wanted to shift gears and go get into like a spiritual or even science frame of mind and bring in quantum reality and, what is this and where are we, and parallel universes, endless possibilities, I could. I as much as I want to, I think that I'm trying to train myself to, I gotta focus on this right now, what's happening right now, because this is for all the marbles. I do want to say before I leave, vote. If you are in the US of A, you need to vote, and I would hope that you vote for Trump. I am. Biden isn't even, it's not even the Biden presidency, it's the Harrison administration. Both of them are saying it. It's in your face. They're telling you already. It's all been from the get-go. None of this has made any sense. There's a bigger plan that's in motion here, clearly. Democrats are saying, if Trump wins or loses, this is going to be crazy. Encouraging it. That's just crazy. So yeah, I would get out and vote. And if you can do it in person and put your ballot in the box, however it goes in your precinct, do it. I kind of see this election having the potential to become the last election. It has that potential because what is playing out right now is huge. The whole virus thing, it's planned. You can't say it's not planned. I mean, if it's created, took a plan to created. And it was created. That's just a fact. You know, the technology we have nowadays, what it's the CRISPR technology, they can look at something and it spits out all this data, and so they know it was created. They're not telling you. The media's not. The news isn't, because it's all owned. The money. I get back onto the money. It's all owned. They think you're sheep doing what you're told to, listening, and doing what you're told to do. Cattle. Then they're doing this. I'm telling you this. This is a test run through. It's a test run through. Now, it doesn't matter whether it was intentionally released or accidentally released. Who's ever designing such technologies has already projected out and role played what happens once it gets out, whether it's accidentally or intentionally, and they're going to make use of that opportunity either way. Just like this presentation back in October, showing the world a pandemic like the one we're now experiencing. I got to get those rocket scientists so I can have them back there when I need them to clap. Because you don't need a rocket scientist. I could keep going, but I'm going to bring this to a close. They know. You know. That's why you're being censored. They know you know. And they don't want you sharing what you know with other people. Because you'll wake them up. And then they'll wake up another. And on and on and on. That's what's happening right now. A lot of people are waking up. Waking up, standing up, and speaking up. And I think that they're a little concerned, as they should. That's the whole point of all this. I mean, there can never be a final confrontation without the jig is up, and what comes of it comes. The great war, the great battle, apocalypse, revelation, whatever state of mind works for you. We're in that right now, clearly, because there's no sense in anything that's happening. I do want to say this, that if you haven't already, I highly recommend you pick up a few of these at minimum. Silver dollars, because that's going to become part of the new currency. Because the dollar's not doing good. It's not. I don't care what they tell you. They're not going to tell you. Clearly, they're not telling you the truth. The virus, and they've known for months and months, was created. But yet there's this other image that they pump out there to steer you away from the truth. Money will collapse. It's already in the process. It's happening right now. People don't have any money. You got a government that's been sitting on their ass pretty much, which that whole scene has just dumbfounded me. I mean, come on. It doesn't take the rocket scientist to figure out you need to do something like yesterday. As opposed to just leaving people waiting, hanging on the edge. This is going to be a part of the new currency because you can hold it. It's tangible. It has nothing to do with a state currency. That's just me. If you have storable food, you are already doing good. If you don't, that's another thing. You should consider some food. At least give you a little bit of some time to figure out what your next move's going to be once all this begins to truly unravel, because it is. There is a virus that has been released. Doesn't matter if it's intentional or accidental. It's out there. It should not have, it's not supposed to be. Okay? If it was intentional, that would place it into the, it was an act of war. That's an act of war. You can't do that. I don't think that if you make that assumption that it was not accidental or intentional, that it was accidentally released, that it matters. It doesn't matter. Even if it was accidentally released, that's just as bad. What the hell are you doing with this shit in the first place? It was designed with intention. What is its intention? Its intention is to do what it's doing right now, killing people, hurting people. Even more, it's destroying livelihoods, businesses, and even church, all of it. It's all shut down. Just something to think about. I know I will be thinking about these things and more things as I try to put all this into a clearer picture. I recommend try out the music. It can't hurt you. You know, it can only make you feel better listening to music, even if you don't feel that there's something there trying to talk to you. The music on its own is talking to you. So be well. Smile. That's important, I think. And thanks for watching. Come back, y'all.